The Indian wealth management industry is booming. Firms today manage well over $1 trillion in assets, and that figure is expected to double in just 5 years. So naturally, everyone wants a piece of the action. But here's the twist. As the industry explodes, the people managing all that wealth, well, they have become the real prize. You see, in a business that caters not just to the top 1%, but the top 0.01% of India's elite, having the best wealth managers on your roster isn't just important, it's everything. And one 4-year-old upstart got that memo early. Neo Group has been on an aggressive hiring spree. It plans to add at least 70 new wealth managers this financial year. But why are we even talking about a relatively small young firm and its recruitment plans? Well, because its rather unique strategy is working. Big time.
So New Group was founded in 2021 by Nitin Jain, who was previously part of the top brass in Edelweiss Financial Services. So the company mainly caters to the creme de la creme of the population, that is like the 0.01% of the wealthiest in the country.
That's Archijma Iyer. She covers capital markets and fintech for the Ken. Archijma wanted to understand the secret of Neo's rapid success. She wanted to uncover how it managed to secure 40,000 crore in assets under advisory in just a few years.
So if I have to take Neo in comparison, we can probably take Avendus's wealth management unit and even, ASK Private Wealth. But Avendus has been able to command like a 50,000 crores in assets under advisory in the last 15 years. It was just the wealth management unit for Avendus was established around 2010. And Blackstone-backed ASK Private Wealth, which has been around since 2007, has been able to accumulate about 9.5 billion, which is definitely more than what Neo has been able to collect. But considering how Neo has performed in the last 4 years, a cumulative 50,000 crore worth of assets is no mean feat.
That kind of growth is almost unheard of for a player this new. So what's the secret? Well, turns out it is hiring. But not just getting more people. It's getting the right people at exactly the right time.
They essentially wanted people to join their company and essentially to create wealth for their clients. So what they did was they sort of inverted the economics for a wealth manager. So usually what happens is in a wealth management firm, there is a fixed pay and then there is a variable pay that consists of your bonuses, your annual increments, and other components, etc. In Neo, what they decided to do was they decided to give a 60% share of the revenue that they get from their clients to the wealth managers themselves. So it creates an incentive for the wealth manager to sort of, start getting more clients, and it's essentially something that incentivizes the wealth manager in this case.
For context, 60% is nearly double the share most companies offer their wealth managers. It's a pretty sweet deal and has helped Neo bring in some of the best in the business. But that's not all. There's also the fact that its leadership mainly comprises Edelweiss veterans, and that offers a whole other layer of credibility that has really helped give it an edge. In this episode, we go behind the scenes of this rather unique wealth management firm and how it has managed to make a mark so quickly. Hello and welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Rahil Philippos, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Snigdha Sharma and I will bring you one story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of June. Neo isn't like most wealth management companies. You see, here, a wealth manager is more like a micro-entrepreneur. That essentially means that they have far more skin in the game than they typically would at a more traditional setup.
So typically, these wealth managers are experienced. They typically bring in their own super rich clientele. So what Neo usually does is they see past experience and past performance, and they also look at their ability to generate revenue from the clients that they bring in. So currently there are about 70 to 80 wealth managers at Neo, and from what I hear is that they are also aggressively looking to expand their wealth management unit. They are looking to hire more and more people towards their company.
But hiring the best in the business can be a double edged sword. Because while they come in with a lineup of ultra rich clients, that also means when they eventually choose to move on from Neo, they'll probably take said ultra rich clients with them. But while that's not uncommon in the industry, that's not something Neo is worried about, at least not yet.
What they have currently is not a very common strategy amongst amongst wealth managers, right? Their differentiated payment structure, that sort of incentivizes the wealth manager to actually bring in more revenue for them. I mean, it is more similar to how consulting firms work, like a KPMG or a Deloitte, right? The partner gets a portion of the profits that are being generated. So with that as an incentive, and with them going all out and on hiring, I don't think Neo has a lot to worry about, whether it doesn't really have a lot to worry.
Let's face it, health and fitness can be overwhelming. But here's the good news, it does not have to be. This June, on the 21st to be specific, the Ken is bringing together some of the best minds to unpack your biggest wellness questions. Whether it's how to sleep better, how to boost mental clarity, how to choose the right supplements, or how to care for aging parents and growing kids. Joining us are Olympic swimmer and coach Nisha Millet, Viren Shetty, Vice Chairman of Narayana Health, and Dr. Syriac Abby Phillips, better known online as the Liver Doctor. They will be at the Bangalore International Center for a lively, no-nonsense conversation. And the best part? Well, you can shape it. If you have a question for Nisha, Viren, or the Liver Doctor, feel free to send them in. Tickets are live. Hit the link in the show notes to grab yours. There have been a few companies that have tried dipping their toes in Neo's disruptive model. Just take wealth tech platform Centricity, for instance. It introduced a similar model for independent financial product distributors just last year in 2024, whom the platform shares nearly 70% of its earned commissions with. But Archijma says the key difference is that Neo's approach is just far more aggressive.
For one thing, they have promoter pedigree, right? Because they are being backed by a peak 15. And that itself says a lot about the kind of experience that, the top brass has come with. They can acquire wealth managers at large numbers, which is what they're currently looking to do right now. This wasn't the first time that Neo was looking to, go all out on hiring. They tried the same thing back in 2021 when they also first started. So, and just recently, Shaji Kumar Devakar, who was a former executive at 361 WAM, has now joined Neo to head its wealth management business. So, I mean, it is there is quite a lot that has kept the company going.
Neo is filling its rank and file with top talent to race ahead. But it knows it can't just piggyback on star performers alone, which is why it's also looking to expand out of India to places like the US and the Middle East as well. In fact, it roped in the likes of Shaji Kumar Devakar, who Archijma mentioned a little while ago, to do just that. Devakar, who spent about a decade at 361, was responsible for expanding the company's business in South India and also headed its international business in the United Arab Emirates. Another big reason Neo is able to do all of this is because of its top brass. It really gave it a head start that a lot of other players just did not have.
So a lot of top brass from Neo were from different segments within the Edelweiss group. Like, even the founder himself, Nitin Jain, who is from Edelweiss Financial Services. So many of them have come in with at least a decade of experience in the wealth management and in the asset management industry. And a good part of that growth can be attributed towards Jain himself, because he was sort of credited for the growth of the asset management and the wealth management spaces within Edelweiss itself. So there was just a lot of credibility that that was there within the company, right? When you have like a bunch of executives who have spent a major part of their professional career building the space in India, there is obviously a kind of belief that okay, these guys will be able to do well. And it's also due to that entrepreneurship bug in them that okay, I have been able to build a product from scratch. Now it's time for me to build a product that I can do.
It isn't just Jen. Varun Bajpai, the chairman of Neo Wealth, spent nearly 4 years at Edelweiss. Puneet Jain, Neo's chief investment officer, was formerly the executive VP at the company. Multiple other employees holding senior positions at Neo also have had a run at Edelweiss. And of course, having the right experience is important. It can kickstart any business, and it certainly has in Neo's case. It was able to get that fast traction because there were clients who were already familiar with Jen's work. That, along with Neo's formula and keeping its wealth managers happy, could continue to fuel its rise. But that's until rival firms catch on and start mimicking its code.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. Head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the website. Today's episode was hosted by Rahil Philippos and edited by Rajiv Cn.